First contact and unlikely alliance. The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly before Captain Area Chen as she guided the Earth exploration vessel Horizon through uncharted territories. Humanity had finally mastered faster-than-light travel, allowing them to venture beyond their solar system for the first time. As the ship's sensors picked up an anomalous reading, Aria's heart raced with anticipation. "Commander Foster, what do you make of this?" Aria called out, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. Jack Foster, the ship's chief science officer, furrowed his brow as he analyzed the data. "It's unlike anything we've ever encountered, Captain. The energy signature is off the charts." As the Horizon approached the source of the reading, a massive structure materialized before them. Its sleek, crystalline surface seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy. Before Aria could issue any orders, a beam of light engulfed their ship, and the crew found themselves paralyzed. Moments later, Aria blinked, disoriented. She was no longer on the bridge of the Horizon, but in a cavernous chamber filled with strange, towering beings. Their bodies seemed to be composed of pure energy, pulsating with vibrant colors. One of the beings stepped forward, its form coalescing into a more humanoid shape. When it spoke, the words resonated directly in Aria's mind. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the Lumina, guardians of the galactic core. Your arrival has been long anticipated." Aria struggled to find her voice, overwhelmed by the surreal situation. I am Captain Area Chen of the Earth vessel Horizon. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars." The luminous form flickered, conveying what Aria interpreted as amusement. "Peace, you say? Yet your species teeters on the brink of self-destruction. We have observed your wars, your pollution, your disregard for the delicate balance of life." Shame washed over Aria as she considered humanity's troubled history. But determination quickly replaced it. "We have made mistakes, yes. But we are learning, evolving. Our journey to the stars is proof of our desire to grow beyond our limitations." The Lumina paused, seeming to consider her words. "Perhaps, but mere words are not enough. The galaxy faces a threat that could unravel the very fabric of existence. If humanity wishes to prove its worth, you must face this challenge." Before Aria could respond, the chamber filled with holographic projections of various alien species. Each seemed to be engaged in desperate battles against shadowy, ever-shifting entities. "The Void Collective," the Lumina explained, "a hive mind of dark energy beings consuming entire civilizations. They grow stronger with each world they devour. Many advanced races have fallen before them." Aria's mind reeled at the implications. Humanity had only just stepped onto the galactic stage, and already they faced an enemy that threatened all of existence. "Why us?" she asked. "Surely there are more advanced civilizations better equipped to handle this threat." The luminous form pulsed with an intensity that Aria interpreted as urgency. "The Void Collective adapts to and overcomes conventional technologies and strategies. We believe humanity's unique approach to problem-solving, your creativity, your ability to think outside established paradigms, may be the key to defeating them." Aria stood straighter, a mix of pride and trepidation filling her. "We will do whatever we can to help, but we'll need to inform our leaders, prepare our defenses." "There is no time," the Lumina interrupted. "The Void Collective approaches a critical juncture. If they are not stopped soon, they will become unstoppable. You must act now." With a gesture, the Lumina summoned a swirling portal of energy. "This will take you to the front lines of the conflict. The fate of the galaxy rests in humanity's hands." Aria's mind raced. This was far beyond anything she or her crew had trained for. Yet the weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders, and she knew there was only one choice. "We accept," she said firmly. "But we'll need all the information and support you can provide." The Lumina nodded, and suddenly Aria's mind was flooded with knowledge. Star charts, alien technologies, tactical data on the Void Collective. It was overwhelming, Yet somehow her consciousness adapted, absorbing the influx of information. As Arya and her crew stepped through the portal, they found themselves back on the bridge of the horizon. But now, the ship was equipped with advanced alien technology, its systems integrated seamlessly with human interfaces. "Captain," Commander Foster called out, his voice filled with awe. "This ship, it's been completely upgraded, and these star charts, we're on the other side of the galaxy." Arya nodded, still processing everything that had happened. "Prepare the crew, Jack. We're about to face the greatest challenge humanity has ever encountered." As the horizon sped towards the coordinates provided by the Lumina, Arya couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. Humanity had always dreamed of its place among the stars. Now they had the chance to prove their worth, not just to alien civilizations, but to themselves. The ship's sensors soon picked up signs of a massive battle. Thousands of alien vessels engaged with roiling masses of dark energy that seemed to devour light itself. The Void Collective was even more terrifying in person than in the visions the Lumina had shared. "All hands, battle stations," Arya commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding before them. "Let's show the galaxy what humanity is made of." As the horizon plunged into the fray, Arya realized that this was more than just a fight for survival. It was humanity's chance to redefine itself, to prove that their troubled history did not define their potential for greatness. The ship shuddered as it absorbed the first attacks from the Void Collective. The alien upgrades held, but Arya knew they couldn't simply outgun this enemy. They needed to outthink it. Foster, analyze their attack patterns. Rodriguez, work with engineering to see if we can adapt our shields to repel their energy. Arya's orders came rapid fire as she coordinated the human response to this unprecedented threat. As the battle raged on, something unexpected happened. The alien ships, initially wary of the newcomers, began to rally around the horizon. The humans' unconventional tactics and adaptability were making a difference, creating openings in the Void Collective's seemingly impenetrable offense. Hours blur into days as the conflict intensified. The Horizon's crew worked tirelessly, pushing themselves and their new technology to the limits. Arya watched with pride as her team innovated on the fly, combining human intuition with alien tech in ways that continually surprised their allies and confounded the enemy. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of combat, the tide began to turn. The Void Collective's formations began to falter, their attacks becoming more erratic. "They're retreating," Foster shouted, disbelief and joy mingling in his voice. Arya allowed herself a small smile, but she knew this was only the beginning. As the remnants of the Void Collective disappeared into the depths of space, the enormity of what they had accomplished began to sink in. The bridge of the horizon was soon filled with holographic projections of alien commanders, all eager to commend the humans on their pivotal role in the battle. A reptilian being, its scales shimmering with bioluminescence, addressed Arya directly. "In all my cycles, I never imagined I would owe a debt of gratitude to a species as young as yours. You have earned your place among the stars, Captain Chen." Arya nodded respectfully. "We're honored to fight alongside you all. But this war is far from over. The Void Collective will return, and we need to be ready." As discussions of strategy and alliance filled the airwaves, Arya took a moment to gaze out at the star-filled expanse before her. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, facing challenges they could never have imagined. But they had risen to the occasion, proving that their unique perspective and indomitable spirit could make a difference on a cosmic scale. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but for the first time, Arya felt true hope for the future, not just for humanity, but for all sentient life in the galaxy. Together, they would face the darkness and forge a new destiny among the stars. The galactic challenge unveiled. The aftermath of the battle left Captain Arya Chen and her crew exhausted but exhilarated. As the horizon docked with a massive alien space station that served as the impromptu headquarters for the coalition against the Void Collective, Arya marveled at the diversity of life forms bustling around them. I never thought I'd see anything like this in my lifetime, Commander Foster whispered, his eyes wide as he took in the scene. Arya nodded in agreement. Remember, Jack, we're not just observers anymore. We're part of this now. As they made their way through the station, aliens of all shapes and sizes regarded the humans with a mixture of curiosity and respect. News of their pivotal role in the recent battle had spread quickly. They were led to a vast chamber where representatives from dozens of species had gathered. At the center stood a holographic projection of the galaxy, with ominous dark patches representing the Void Collective's territory. A tall, avian creature with iridescent feathers stepped forward. I am High Commander Zyklera of the Aetherian Concordat. On behalf of the Coalition, I welcome our human allies. Its beak clicked in what Arya interpreted as a sign of approval. Your assistance in the recent engagement was unexpected, but most welcome. Arya bowed slightly. We're honored to stand with you all. But I suspect you didn't bring us here just for congratulations. Zyklera's feathers ruffled slightly. Indeed not, Captain Chen. What you witnessed was merely a skirmish. The true war is yet to come. With a wave of its wing, the galactic map zoomed in on a particular sector. A massive, swirling vortex of dark energy pulsated at its center. This is the Nexus, Zyklera explained. The source of the Void Collective's power. Our scientists believe it to be a rupture in the fabric of space-time, allowing dark energy entities to pour into our reality. Commander Foster leaned in, his scientific curiosity piqued. A naturally occurring phenomenon. A bulbous, gelatinous being nearby emitted a series of bubbles that translated into speech. We suspect not. The Nexus bears signs of artificial manipulation. Someone, or something, created this breach intentionally. Arya's mind reeled at the implications. You're saying there's an intelligence behind the Void Collective? I thought they were mindless energy beings. The foot soldiers we've encountered appear to be, Zyklera confirmed. But we believe they serve a greater consciousness, one that seeks to remake the galaxy in its own dark image. The hologram shifted, showing simulations of the Void Collective's expansion. At the current rate, they would engulf the entire galaxy within a few Earth decades. We've thrown everything we have at the Nexus. A crystalline being chimed in, its voice resonating like wind chimes. Our most powerful weapons, our most advanced technologies. Nothing can penetrate its defenses. Arya felt the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. And you think we can help? Humanity is new to interstellar travel. Our technology is primitive compared to yours. Zyklera's eyes glimmered with an emotion Arya couldn't quite read. Yet in one battle, you demonstrated tactical innovations that none of us had considered. Your species thinks differently. You see patterns and possibilities where we see only established truths. The Lumina were right to bring you into this conflict, the gelatinous being bubbled. We need your human ingenuity now more than ever. Arya exchanged glances with Commander Foster. The responsibility was enormous, but so was the opportunity. This was humanity's chance to prove itself on the galactic stage. What exactly are you proposing? Arya asked. The hologram zoomed out, revealing a massive space station unlike anything Arya had ever seen. It appeared to be a patchwork of various alien architectures, cobbled together into a cohesive whole. This is the Forge, Zyklera explained, a collaborative project combining the best technologies and minds from across the Coalition. We've been working on a device capable of closing the Nexus, but progress has stalled. We believe human insight could be the key to its completion. Commander Foster's eyes lit up at the prospect, a device to seal an interdimensional rift. The scientific implications alone are staggering. Arya nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. We'll need to consult with Earth, bring in our top scientists and engineers. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Zyklera interrupted. The Void Collective is already aware of humanity's potential. They will seek to eliminate you before you can turn the tide. For now, The existence of this coalition must remain a secret from the broader human population. Arya bristled at the idea of keeping such monumental information from her people, but she also understood the stakes. Then we'll work with what we have. The Horizon's crew represents some of the best minds Earth has to offer. The assembled aliens seemed to relax slightly at her words. Plans were quickly made to integrate the human team into the Forge's operations. As the meeting adjourned, Arya found herself approached by a being that seemed to be composed entirely of swirling gases. "Captain Chin," it whispered, its voice like a distant wind. "I am Elder Xin of the Nebula Sages. There is something you must know about the nature of this conflict." Arya listened intently as Xin explained that the Void Collective was not merely a threat to physical existence, but to the very nature of consciousness itself. The dark entities sought to absorb and assimilate all sentient thought, creating a singular, all-encompassing hive mind. "This is not just a war for territory or resources," Kine concluded. "It is a battle for the soul of the galaxy. The diversity of thought, the beauty of individual consciousness, all of it hangs in the balance." As Arya digested this information, she realized that humanity's role in this conflict was even more crucial than she had initially believed. Their unique perspectives, their capacity for innovation and outside-the-box thinking, might be the last, best hope for preserving the rich tapestry of galactic consciousness. Over the next few weeks, the crew of the Horizon threw themselves into their work at the Forge. The station was a marvel of engineering, with laboratories and workshops that pushed the boundaries of known science. Arya watched with pride as her team adapted quickly, their natural curiosity and problem-solving skills earning the respect of their alien colleagues. Commander Foster led a team working on unraveling the quantum mechanics behind the Nexus. Lieutenant Rodriguez, the Horizon's chief engineer, found himself collaborating with entities of pure energy on novel power generation techniques. Even the ship's doctor, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, was making breakthroughs in xenobiology that promised to enhance the Coalition's medical capabilities. Arya split her time between coordinating her crew's efforts and strategic planning with the Coalition's military leaders. The Void Collective's attacks were increasing in frequency and ferocity, as if they sensed the growing threat posed by the Forge. One day, as Arya was reviewing battle plans with Zyklera, alarms blared throughout the station. The Forge's long-range sensors had detected a massive Void Collective fleet on an intercept course. "They know," Zyklera said grimly. "Somehow they've discovered the location of the Forge." Arya's mind raced. The Coalition's fleet was scattered, defending key systems across the galaxy. The Forge's defenses were formidable, but not designed to withstand a full-scale assault. "We need more time," Arya insisted. "Foster's team is close to a breakthrough on the Nexus device, if we can hold them off long enough." Zyklera's feathers drooped. "Even if we recall all available ships, they won't arrive in time. The Forge will fall before we can complete our work." Arya refused to accept defeat. Her eyes scanned the tactical display, searching for any advantage. Suddenly, an idea began to form. A desperate, possibly suicidal plan, but one that just might work. "What if we bring the fight to them?" she proposed. "Not with ships, but with the station itself." Zyklera's avian features contorted in confusion. "The Forge is not designed for combat, let alone movement on that scale." "No, but it's designed to channel and manipulate enormous amounts of energy," Arya countered. "If we can reconfigure the main reactor, use the Nexus device prototype as a focus." Understanding dawned in Zyklera's eyes. "You're suggesting we turn the entire station into a weapon?" Arya nodded grimly. "One massive burst of energy, targeted at the heart of their fleet. It might buy us the time we need." Word of the plan spread quickly through the station. It was risky, unprecedented, and would require precise coordination between dozens of different alien technologies. But faced with certain defeat, the Coalition rallied behind the human captain's audacious strategy. The next hours were a blur of frenetic activity. Commander Foster and his team worked to modify the Nexus device, while Lieutenant Rodriguez coordinated with the station's engineers to channel every ounce of power into one massive emission array. As the Void Collective fleet drew nearer, Area stood at the heart of the Forge's control center, surrounded by aliens of all forms. The fate of the galaxy rested on this moment, on this human plan born of desperation and ingenuity. Energy levels at maximum, Rodriguez reported, his voice tense. We'll only get one shot at this. Area took a deep breath, feeling the weight of countless alien eyes upon her. This was it, humanity's moment to shine or falter on the galactic stage. On my mark, she said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The Void Collective ships loomed large on the view screen, their dark forms blotting out the stars. Now, a blinding surge of energy erupted from the Forge, a concentrated beam of pure power that cut through space like a scythe. It struck the Void Collective fleet head-on, vaporizing the lead ships and sending destructive shockwaves through their formation. For a moment, all was silent. Then cheers erupted throughout the station as the remaining enemy ships scattered, their coordinated attack shattered by the unexpected assault. As the Coalition's reinforcements began to arrive, mopping up the remnants of the Void Collective fleet, Area allowed herself a moment of relief. They had survived, and more than that, they had struck a significant blow against an enemy that had seemed unstoppable. Zyklera approached her, bowing its head in a gesture of deep respect. You've given us more than just a victory, Captain Chen. You've given us hope. Area smiled, but her mind was already racing ahead to the challenges that still lay before them. The Void Collective had been bloodied, but not defeated. The Nexus still loomed as an existential threat to all life in the galaxy. But for the first time since this war began, the Coalition had a real chance at victory, and it was humanity. The newcomers, the underdogs, who had turned the tide. As Area looked out at the sea of alien faces, each regarding her and her crew with newfound admiration and trust, she knew that the real work was just beginning. Humanity had proven its worth as allies in war. Now they would need to prove themselves as architects of peace, helping to forge a new galactic order from the chaos of conflict. The journey ahead would be long and fraught with danger. But Area Chen and her crew stood ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw at them, proud representatives of a humanity that had found its place among the stars. Human ingenuity versus alien technology. In the wake of their stunning victory against the Void Collective fleet, the mood aboard the Forge was one of cautious optimism. Captain Area Chen found herself at the center of a whirlwind of activity as the Coalition races clamored to understand and replicate the innovative tactics that had saved them all. I still can't believe it worked, Commander Foster remarked as he and Area made their way through the bustling corridors of the station. Turning the entire Forge into a weapon. It's the kind of crazy idea you'd expect from a Hollywood movie, not a real military strategy. Area smiled wryly. Sometimes, Jack, the craziest ideas are exactly what we need. The Void Collective didn't expect it because no one in their right mind would attempt such a thing. As they entered the central laboratory, they were greeted by a cacophony of alien voices and the hum of advanced machinery. The Nexus device prototype, still smoking slightly from its recent use, dominated the center of the room. Zyklera approached them, its feathers shimmering with excitement. Captain Chen, Commander Foster, your presence is most fortuitous. We've made a breakthrough in understanding the Nexus device's functionality. The avian alien led them to a holographic display where a complex, multidimensional model rotated slowly. Thanks to the data gathered during our recent, improvised use of the device, we've identified a critical weakness in the Void Collective's dimensional structure. Foster leaned in, his scientific curiosity piqued. You're saying we can exploit this to close the Nexus permanently? Potentially, Zyklera confirmed. But we lack a crucial component, a way to safely generate and control the massive amounts of energy required without, well, destroying ourselves in the process. Area's mind raced, recalling her conversations with Elder Xin about the nature of consciousness in relation to the Void Collective. What if we're approaching this from the wrong angle? She mused aloud. We've been thinking of this as a purely technological problem. But the Void Collective isn't just a physical threat. It's a mental one, a threat to consciousness itself. The assembled aliens exchanged puzzled glances. What are you suggesting, Captain? A crystalline being chimed in. What if, Arya continued, her excitement growing, instead of trying to overpower the Nexus with brute force, we find a way to disrupt its cognitive network, a sort of psychic countermeasure. The laboratory erupted into a flurry of discussion. Many of the alien scientists were skeptical, but others saw the potential in this uniquely human perspective. It's unorthodox, Zyklera admitted, but then again, so was using the entire forge as a weapon. Perhaps this is why the Lumina brought humans into this conflict, to think in ways we cannot. Over the next few weeks, the forge became a hotbed of interdisciplinary research. Human scientists worked alongside alien psionics experts. Quantum physicists collaborated with beings of pure energy, and engineers from a dozen worlds struggled to merge technology with the abstract concepts of consciousness and willpower. Arya found herself spending long hours in deep discussion with Elder Xin, trying to understand the fundamental nature of the Void Collective's hive mind. It's not just about closing a physical portal, Xin explained, its gaseous form swirling thoughtfully. We must sever the psychic link that allows the collective to maintain cohesion across dimensional boundaries. As the coalition raced against time to develop this new strategy, reports came in of increased Void Collective activity across the galaxy. It seemed their recent defeat had only spurred them to greater aggression. They're learning, adapting, Zyklera reported grimly during a strategy meeting. Our conventional tactics are becoming less effective by the day. Arya nodded, her face set with determination. Then we need to change the rules of engagement. Commander Foster, what's the status of Project Mindforge? Foster pulled up a holographic schematic. We've successfully merged Aetherian psionic amplifiers with human EEG technology. In theory, it should allow us to project a unified consciousness field, powerful enough to disrupt the Void Collective's psychic network. In theory, a skeptical alien general rumbled. But we have no way to test it without risking everything. Arya's eyes flashed with resolve. Then we'll have to take that risk. Humanity didn't come this far by playing it safe. The plan that emerged was audacious, even by the standards of their previous gambit. A small team would use a specially modified ship to penetrate the outer defenses of the Nexus itself. Once inside, they would deploy the Mindforge device, attempting to disrupt the Void Collective's control over the dimensional rift. It's a suicide mission, Zyklera stated bluntly. The psychic backlash alone could destroy the minds of everyone involved. Arya stepped forward. Then I'll lead the mission myself. I won't ask anyone to take a risk I'm not willing to face. A hush fell over the assembled coalition leaders. Then, one by one, volunteers began to step forward. Not just humans, but aliens of various species, all inspired by the captain's courage and the hope she represented. As preparations for the mission intensified, Arya found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought her and her crew to this point. They had come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars, only to find themselves at the center of a war for the very soul of the galaxy. The night before the mission, Arya stood before her assembled crew. I won't lie to you, she said, her voice steady. What we're about to attempt has never been done before. The risks are enormous, but so are the stakes. Every sentient being in this galaxy is counting on us, whether they know it or not. We carry with us not just the hopes of humanity, but of all conscious life. She looked out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike, that had become her family over these past months. Whatever happens tomorrow, know that you have already made history. You've shown the galaxy the best of what humanity has to offer. Our courage, our creativity, our unwavering spirit in the face of impossible odds. I am honored to serve with each and every one of you. As dawn broke over the alien world that hosted the Forge, Aria boarded the modified ship alongside her handpicked team. A mix of humans and aliens, each bringing unique skills and perspectives to the mission. The Coalition fleet would engage the Void Collective's outer defenses, creating a diversion to allow their small vessel to slip through. As they approached the swirling maelstrom of dark energy that marked the Nexus, Aria felt a sense of awe and terror, unlike anything she had experienced before. The very fabric of space seemed to warp and twist around them, reality itself buckling under the strain of the interdimensional rift. Mindforge device is powered up and ready, Foster reported, his voice tense. But Captain, the energy readings from the Nexus, they're off the charts. I'm not sure our shields can withstand prolonged exposure. Aria gripped her command chair tightly. We only need to get close enough to deploy the device. After that, well, let's hope our theories are correct. As they penetrated deeper into the Nexus, the ship groaned under the strain of opposing gravitational forces. Strange, otherworldly visions flashed across the viewscreen, glimpses of alien worlds, of realities that defied comprehension. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. We're being probed, an alien psionic expert warned. The Void Collective is aware of our presence. They're attempting to invade our minds. Aria felt it then. A cold, alien intelligence pressing against her consciousness, seeking to unravel her very sense of self. But she pushed back, drawing strength from her crew, from the coalition they represented, from the billions of lives depending on their success. Now, she shouted, activate the Mindforge. Foster slammed his hand down on the activation switch. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, a wave of pure thought and emotion burst forth from the device, amplified by the combined willpower of the crew. The effect was instantaneous and overwhelming. Aria felt as if her mind was being stretched across the vastness of space, merging with countless other consciousnesses. She saw the galaxy as the Void Collective saw it, a tapestry of thought and energy, ripe for assimilation. But where the collective sought uniformity, Aria and her team projected diversity. They broadcast the full spectrum of sentient experience, joy and sorrow, love and loss, the unique perspectives of 1,000 different species. It was a chaotic, beautiful chorus of individuality that stood in stark contrast to the collective's monolithic hive mind. For what felt like an eternity, Aria's consciousness grappled with the vast, dark intelligence of the Void Collective. She felt the strain of countless alien minds linked with her own, all pushing back against the encroaching darkness. And then, like a dam finally giving way, something broke. The oppressive presence of the Void Collective faltered, its psychic network disrupted by the sheer variety and intensity of the thoughts being projected against it. The Nexus began to collapse in on itself, the swirling vortex of dark energy shrinking rapidly. Aria barely registered Foster's frantic voice, calling for an emergency extraction as the ship was buffeted by waves of collapsing space-time. As they sped away from the imploding Nexus, Aria's last conscious thought was one of triumph. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity and its alien allies had faced the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known, and emerged victorious. The universe would never be the same, and neither would they. Turning the tides of war, Captain Aria Chen awoke to the soft hum of medical equipment and the worried faces of her crew. As her vision cleared, she realized she was in the Forge's advanced medical bay, surrounded by a mix of human and alien medical staff. "Welcome back, Captain," Dr. Tanaka said, relief evident in her voice. "You had us worried for a while there." Aria tried to sit up, wincing at the effort. "The mission. Did we succeed?" Commander Foster stepped forward, a weary smile on his face. "See for yourself." He activated a holographic display, showing a vast starfield. Where the Nexus had once dominated, there was now only empty space, punctuated by the occasional burst of residual energy. "It's gone," Aria breathed, hardly daring to believe it. We actually did it. Not just gone, Foster added. The collapse of the Nexus triggered a chain reaction. Void collective forces across the galaxy are in disarray. It's like cutting the head off a snake. Without the central intelligence to guide them, they're scattered and confused. As Arya absorbed this information, Zyklera entered the room, its feathers ruffled with excitement. Captain Chen, your actions have changed the course of galactic history. The Coalition Council requests your presence as soon as you're able. Over the next few days, as Arya recovered her strength, reports flooded in from across the galaxy. The Void Collective, once thought invincible, was now on the run. Coalition forces, emboldened by this unprecedented victory, were pushing back, reclaiming systems that had long been lost to the darkness. But with victory came new challenges. As Arya stood before the Coalition Council, she could sense the unease beneath the celebration. The immediate threat may be over, a crystalline being chimed, but we cannot become complacent. Remnants of the Void Collective still pose a significant danger. Moreover, added a gelatinous entity, the power vacuum left by their defeat threatens to destabilize entire sectors. Old rivalries and territorial disputes are already resurfacing. Arya listened intently, her mind racing with the implications. They had won the war, but keeping the peace might prove even more challenging. "If I may," she said, stepping forward. "The Void Collective threatened us all equally. In facing that threat, we've forged bonds between species that have never cooperated before. We have a unique opportunity here, not just to mop up the remaining enemy forces, but to build something lasting." Murmurs rippled through the assembled alien leaders. Zyklera tilted its head curiously. "What are you proposing, Captain?" Arya took a deep breath. A permanent coalition. Not just a military alliance, but a framework for ongoing cooperation, scientific exchange, cultural understanding, mutual defense, a true galactic community. The council chamber erupted into discussion. Some voices were enthusiastic, others skeptical. Humanity was still the newcomer on the galactic stage. Who were they to propose such a radical restructuring of interstellar relations? But Arya stood firm. "Look at what we've already accomplished together. The Forge itself is proof of what we can achieve when we combine our knowledge and resources. Imagine what we could do if we applied that same spirit of cooperation to peacetime endeavors." As the debate raged on, Arya found an unexpected ally in Elder Xin. The gaseous being drifted to her side, its voice a soft whisper. "You speak wisdom beyond your years, Captain. The Void Collective sought to impose unity through assimilation. You offer a unity born of diversity, a far more powerful and resilient foundation." Over the next weeks, as coalition forces continued to mop up pockets of Void Collective resistance, intense negotiations took place aboard the Forge. Arya and her crew found themselves at the center of it all, mediating disputes between alien races, offering the human perspective on complex issues of governance and cooperation. "I never thought I'd be helping to draft a galactic constitution," Commander Foster remarked one day, his eyes bleary from poring over legal texts from a dozen different worlds. Arya smiled wryly. "Just think, Jack. A few months ago, our biggest concern was making first contact without causing a diplomatic incident. Now we're shaping the future of the entire galaxy." As word of these discussions spread, the Forge became a hub of activity. Diplomats and leaders from across known space arrived, eager to have their say in the formation of this new galactic order. The diversity was staggering. Beams of pure energy debating policy with silicon-based life forms, aquatic species finding common ground with those who had never known liquid water. Through it all, Arya and her crew worked tirelessly. Their unique human perspective, unbound by centuries of interstellar political history, often helped break deadlocks and find innovative solutions to age-old problems. But not everyone was pleased with the growing human influence. One day, as Arya was leaving a particularly contentious negotiation session, she found herself confronted by a group of alien diplomats. "You overstep, human," one of them growled, its tentacles writhing in agitation. Your species is but an infant in galactic terms. What right have you to dictate the shape of our future? Aria stood her ground, meeting the alien's compound eyes steadily. We're not dictating anything. We're offering a fresh perspective, just as the Lumina hoped we would. Every voice here is equal, including ours. Before the situation could escalate, Zyklera intervened. The human speaks truth, it declared, its tone leaving no room for argument. It was their ingenuity that turned the tide against the Void Collective. They have earned their place at this table. As the dissenting diplomats slunk away, Zyklera turned to Aria. Do not let such voices discourage you, Captain. Change is never easy, especially on a galactic scale. But what we are building here, it is worth the struggle. Aria nodded, grateful for the support. But the encounter left her pondering the enormous responsibility that had fallen on humanity's shoulders. They had entered the galactic stage as unknowns, and now found themselves helping to reshape the very foundations of interstellar society. As the negotiations entered their final stages, a new challenge arose. The question of Earth's place in this new galactic order could no longer be ignored. The Coalition's existence was still a secret from the broader human population. How could they be integrated into a galactic community they didn't even know existed? We need to tell them. Aria insisted during a closed-doors session with the Coalition's highest-ranking leaders. Humanity deserves to know the truth, to have a say in their own future. The shock could be devastating. A multi-eye being countered. Your civilization is not prepared for the reality of galactic politics. With all due respect, Aria replied, her voice firm. I think we've proven that humanity is more adaptable than anyone gave us credit for. Yes, there will be challenges, but we've faced the Void Collective. I think we can handle the truth about our place in the universe. After much debate, a compromise was reached. A gradual disclosure plan would be implemented, carefully introducing humanity to the wider galactic community over a period of years. Aria and her crew would serve as ambassadors, helping to bridge the gap between Earth and the stars. As the final documents were prepared, formalizing the creation of the new galactic Concordat, Aria found a quiet moment to stand before the Forge's vast observation window. The station hung in space above a blue-green world not unlike Earth, its halls still bustling with activity as the final details of the new galactic order were hammered out. Commander Foster joined her, handing her a datapad. It's done, he said quietly, the final draft of the Concordat. All it needs now is the signatures. Aria took the pad, her fingers tracing over the words that would shape the future of countless worlds. It's really happening, isn't it? We came looking for new horizons, and we ended up redrawing the map of the entire galaxy. Foster nodded, his expression a mix of awe and trepidation. Do you think we're ready for this? To be part of something so much bigger than ourselves? Aria's gaze drifted back to the stars beyond the window. She thought of all they had endured, all they had accomplished. The terror of facing the Void Collective, the exhilaration of victory against impossible odds, the painstaking work of forging a lasting peace. Ready or not, this is our reality now, she said finally. We've proven that humanity has something unique to offer the galaxy. Now we have to live up to that potential. As if on cue, a soft chime announced an incoming transmission. It was from Earth, the first test of the new communication network that would gradually introduce humanity to its galactic neighbors. Aria took a deep breath, straightening her uniform. It was time to deliver the news that would forever change the course of human history. As she prepared to address her homeworld, she felt the weight of galaxies on her shoulders, but also the hope of a brighter, more united future. The journey that had begun with a simple mission of exploration had led them to the cusp of a new era. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not just as observers or participants, but as architects of a grand interstellar future. As the transmission connected, Aria Chen, once a captain of a single Earth vessel, now a pivotal figure in galactic history, spoke the words that would usher in a new chapter for her species and countless others. People of Earth, this is Captain Area Chen. I bring you greetings and an invitation from the stars. A new era of cooperation. The years following the formation of the Galactic Concordat were a whirlwind of activity and change. Captain Area Chen, now serving as Earth's primary ambassador to the galactic community, found herself at the center of a transformation unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. The gradual disclosure plan, carefully crafted to introduce Earth to its new reality, progressed with cautious optimism. Initial announcements of alien life were met with a mix of excitement, skepticism, and fear. But as more information was released and the first public meetings with alien representatives were arranged, a sense of wonder began to take hold. "It's remarkable," Area mused to Commander Foster during a rare quiet moment. They were aboard the Horizon, now upgraded with technology that would have seemed magical just a few years ago, en route to yet another diplomatic mission. "Do you remember how we felt when we first stepped onto an alien world? Now we're helping all of humanity take that step." Foster nodded, a wry smile on his face. "I never thought I'd see the day when debates about alien trade policies would be trending topics on social media." The transition wasn't without its challenges. Earth's government struggled to adapt to their new place in a much larger political landscape. Economic systems were upended as alien technologies and resources began to filter into human society. Religious and philosophical debates raged as humanity grappled with its newfound context in the universe. But through it all, the spirit of cooperation that had defeated the Void Collective prevailed. The Forge, once a secret military installation, was transformed into a symbol of interspecies collaboration. Human scientists worked alongside alien researchers, tackling challenges that ranged from curing diseases to terraforming inhospitable worlds. One day, as Area was preparing for a crucial vote in the Concordat's governing council, she received an unexpected visitor. Elder Xin, its gaseous form swirling with vibrant colors, appeared in her office aboard the Forge. "Ambassador Chen," it greeted her, its voice like a distant wind. "I hope I'm not interrupting." Area smiled, setting aside her work. In the years since the Void Collective's defeat, she had come to regard the enigmatic being as both a mentor and a friend. "Not at all, Elder. Your timing is impeccable. As always, I could use some of your wisdom." Sin's form shimmered in what Area had come to recognize as amusement. "You underestimate yourself, my dear. It is your wisdom that has guided much of our progress these past years." The Elder's form drifted to the window, gazing out at the bustling activity of the Forge. Ships of various alien designs moved in careful choreography, their crews representing dozens of species working in harmony. When the Lumina first brought humanity into our conflict, many doubted their judgment. Kaizen mused. A primitive species, barely able to reach their own moon. What could they offer against a threat like the Void Collective? But the Lumina saw something in your people that the rest of us had overlooked. Area joined Xin at the window, her eyes tracking a group of human engineers as they collaborated with insectoid aliens on what appeared to be a new form of propulsion system. "And what was that?" "Potential," Xin replied simply. "Unbound by millennia of established galactic norms, free to think in ways that we, in our ancient wisdom, had forgotten. You reminded us all of the power of diversity, of the strength found in unity without uniformity." Area felt a swell of pride, not just for herself, but for all of humanity. They had come so far in such a short time, rising to challenges that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. "The vote today," Sign continued, its tone growing serious. "It will shape the future of the Concordat for generations to come. Many still resist the idea of granting humanity a permanent seat on the High Council. They argue that your species is too young, too inexperienced." Area nodded, her jaw set with determination. "They're not wrong about our inexperience, but that's precisely why our voice is needed. We bring a fresh perspective, unburdened by ancient grudges or outdated traditions." Sin's form pulsed with approval. "Well said, Ambassador. Remember that spirit when you address the Council. Your journey, humanity's journey, From isolation to galactic citizenship is a powerful testament to the very principles the Concordat was founded upon. As Sin took its leave, Aria felt a renewed sense of purpose. She gathered her notes and made her way to the council chambers, her mind racing with the arguments she would present. The chamber was a marvel of alien architecture, its soaring ceilings and intricate designs reflecting the diverse cultures that had come together to form the Concordat. As Aria took her place at the podium, she looked out at the assembled representatives, a tapestry of life forms that would have once seemed impossible to her. Esteemed members of the Concordat, she began, her voice clear and confident. We stand at a crossroads. The decision we make today will determine whether we truly embrace the principles of unity and diversity that we fought so hard to defend. She paused, letting her gaze sweep across the chamber. Some argue that humanity is too young, too inexperienced to hold a permanent seat on this council. To them, I say, you are right. We are young. We are inexperienced in the ways of galactic politics. But it is precisely that fresh perspective that allowed us to see solutions where others saw only problems. Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. Aria pressed on, her passion evident in every word. When we faced the Void Collective, it wasn't advanced technology or ancient wisdom that turned the tide. It was the ability to think differently, to approach problems from new angles. That is what humanity brings to this council, a reminder that there is always another way, always room for innovation and growth. As she continued her address, Aria drew upon everything she had learned in her years as a starship captain and diplomat. She spoke of the challenges Earth had overcome in adapting to its new reality, of the eagerness with which humans had embraced their galactic neighbors. She painted a vision of a future where humanity's unique gifts could help drive the Concordat to new heights of achievement and cooperation. When the vote was finally called, Aria held her breath. The chamber was silent as the results were tallied. And then, to her amazement and joy, the motion passed. Humanity would have its seat on the High Council, a permanent voice in shaping the future of the galaxy. As the chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien congratulations, Aria felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Commander Foster, grinning broadly. "Well done, Ambassador," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I think you just made history, again." Aria laughed, the tension of the moment finally breaking. "We all did, Jack. Every human who's worked to prove our worth, every alien who was willing to give us a chance. This is a victory for all of us." As the celebrations continued, Aria found a quiet moment to send a message back to Earth. She knew the news would be met with jubilation and pride back home. Humanity had come so far in such a short time. From a species confined to a single world to a key player on the galactic stage. In the days that followed, as news of the vote spread across Earth and beyond, Aria found herself reflecting on the incredible journey that had brought them to this point. From that first, fateful encounter with the Lumina to the desperate battle against the Void Collective, from the challenging negotiations of the Concordat to this final affirmation of humanity's place among the stars. During a ceremony to officially install Earth's representative on the High Council, Aria stood before a vast, diverse crowd. Humans stood shoulder to shoulder, or tentacle, or appendage, with beings from across the galaxy. As she looked out at this living tableau of interstellar cooperation, she was struck by a profound sense of hope for the future. "Today," she said, her voice carrying across the assembly, "we take our place as full partners in this grand endeavor we call the Galactic Concordat. But let us never forget the lessons that brought us here. Our strength lies not in our similarities, but in our differences. Our power comes not from uniformity, but from the beautiful tapestry we weave together with our diverse threads." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the gathered beings. Former enemies, now allies, strangers, now friends. The challenges we faced united us. The victory we achieved together showed us what we're capable of. But it's the future we build now, in times of peace, that will truly define us. As applause, In all its varied alien forms, filled the chamber, Area felt a sense of completion. The journey that had begun with a simple mission of exploration had led humanity to this moment, standing proud among the stars, ready to face whatever new adventures the vast universe might hold. Later, as she stood on the observation deck of the forge, gazing out at the star-filled expanse, Area felt a presence beside her. Elder Xen materialized, its gaseous form reflecting the starlight. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Area mused. "I used to look up at the stars from Earth, wondering what was out there. I never imagined anything like this." Xen's form shimmered with what Area had come to recognize as fond amusement. "The universe is full of wonders, Ambassador Chen, but few as remarkable as watching a young species find its place among them." Area smiled, her mind already racing with plans and possibilities. Humanity's journey was far from over. There were new worlds to explore, new challenges to face, new wonders to discover. But now, they would face it all as part of something greater, a united galaxy, stronger in its diversity, bound together by the shared experience of facing down existential threat and emerging victorious. As she stood there at the threshold of a new era, Captain Area Chen, explorer, diplomat, bridge between worlds, felt a profound sense of gratitude and purpose. Humanity had been given an incredible gift, the chance to help shape the destiny of not just their own world, but countless others. Whatever the future might hold, whatever new threats or opportunities might arise, she knew one thing for certain. Humanity, with its unique blend of ingenuity, adaptability, and irrepressible spirit, would face it head-on, hand in hand, or tentacle or appendage, with their new galactic family. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with endless possibility. And humanity, no longer alone in the cosmos, was ready to answer that call.